Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're checking out the new releases from Cult of Luna, AMORPHIS, VOIVOD, and ZEAL Ardor. Guys, February 11th, bunch of pretty cool releases today. ZEAL Ardor, self-titled album, VOIVOD, Synchro Anarchy, AMORPHIS, Halo, and Cult of Luna, The Long Road North. So I listened to all four. T-Fish listened to 3 and a bit.
I like 2 and a bit and a bit. As
Okay.
weird as that sounds.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick one and I'm gonna give it to you. Let's start with VOIVOD. What did you think of Synchro Anarchy?
So VOIVOD's a band that's been around for a long time. You know, one of the classic prog bands. And this album was pretty good, but I noticed something really quick as soon as I started, listening to it. Because I've heard a bit of VOIVOD, but not much before. And I'm like, man, Mastodon must have loved these guys. Because I can totally tell Mastodon had to have been inspired by these guys.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot, it's like a lot of like, it is prog metal, but it's very alternative, sludgy, and grungy in its style. And I think that's pretty cool, because you don't hear that kind of thing from many prog bands. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I agree. It has its own unique thing. And I've heard VOIVOD, many times over the years, but I've never really jumped into them. I've never picked up an album and listened to a full VOIVOD album. I think I might have seen them live on a tour once, if I'm not mistaken. But this is my first time really diving in, and I was like, you know what, this is really cool. It reminds me a lot of Mastodon, but I know it's got to be the other way around, because I'm pretty sure, Mastodon was inspired by VOIVOD, like T-Fish just said. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I do think it's a little bit too bizarre for what I normally listen to. Not that it was totally outlandish. It's not like Igor or fucking, Devin Townsend or anything wild like that. Mm-hmm. But it does have its own flavor for sure. It is something that I think, if I listen to it through the week, I'd probably enjoy it. But it wasn't my favorite album of the day. Just putting that out there. Cult of Luna, The Long Road North. What do you think?
Well, we did cover Cult of Luna previously on this channel, and you can't remember that.
I don't remember that.
we looked at an EP, I think it was either last year or the year before. Everything since 2020 has felt like the same year.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
I believe it was called The Raging River, and I thought it was pretty good. Not like amazing, but solid. But this actually felt really nice. I really like the atmosphere that this album has, and I feel like at the same time this album's a bit of, I guess this band by extension is a bit of an acquired taste. Is that this album is a straight line, but it's a nice one.
Okay.
Because a lot of albums we've criticized before for not really having much contour. But this one, it's just a big environmental chamber that you're kind of walking into when you put this album on. I thought it was really nice. And some songs do have a little bit of contour to them, like the Silver Arc, and even the title track. Like my highlight tracks were An Offering to the Wild and The Long Road North. And just overall, it was a nice, like really kind of dark, grim atmosphere. And I like that a lot. And I don't know, I just found it really interesting because we have harped on some bands and albums for contour problems, but I didn't really have an issue with it being pretty straightforward here.
Yeah, I thought this album sounded all right. It felt kind of drowned out. And I felt like I was kind of getting bored whenever I really put a focused listen onto it. It's very atmospheric. I think if I gave it a real solid chance, I would enjoy it a lot more. I feel like having it on while I'm doing my daily tasks wasn't really doing a good service to the album. I think at least for one initial listen, you really got to settle down and take the whole thing in at once. And then afterwards you can appreciate it. Listening to it on the background or while you're doing things or whatever. I didn't have the opportunity to really give it that fair chance, so I don't think my opinion on it is the fairest. I thought it was good. I didn't hate it by any means, but it really didn't do anything for me. There was nothing about it that I was like that interested in or that I wanted to get invested in, but I think there's potential there. So again, definitely not my favorite of the day as far as new releases go, but there was elements that I did like, so I don't know. It was a weird one for me.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to Halo by AMORPHIS. I only listened to the first few, I only got the chance to listen to a few of the songs, like the first chunk, and it was good. Honestly, I liked the variety that this band has. It did, at some points, kind of feel like run-of-the-mill melodic death metal. However, there were elements of it that I thought were kind of nice to hear. The first song has a keyboard solo, but the keyboard's using like an organ sound. I thought that was really cool. Stuff like that were stuff that really stood out to me and that I thought were pretty cool. So overall, like, I was enjoying what I was hearing.
Yeah, you know what? I really actually like this album too. I did listen to the whole thing. In a way, it kind of had a similar vibe as the Cult of Luna album, where there was like a lot of ups and downs for me, where a lot of it I was like, oh, this is kind of run-of-the-mill, this kind of was whatever. But then there was parts on it where I was like, wow, like, especially with the vocals, a lot of good vocal variety, a lot of good vocal range. Don't know if there's more than one singer. I believe it's probably just one person singing. Can't remember. No, I think it was the other one. I think it was Cult of Luna that had a female vocal on one song. But anyways, very melodic, very atmospheric. Some good vibes throughout. Northwards is a track that stood out to me for no particular reason that I can remember or convey. And Seven Roads Come Together. Those two tracks stood out to me as highlight tracks. Yeah, I don't got much more to say about it. I thought it was definitely a strong album. Maybe a little on the long side. It's a little over an hour long, I think, which is not super long for an album. But for this type of album, maybe. I don't know. But similarly to Cult of Luna, I think a solid, focused listen would go a long way for an album like this. The last on the list for the day was Zeal and Ardor, self-titled album. I started off my day with this album, and I finished off my day with this album. These guys have been around for a bit, you know, since 2013, I believe. And I've never really checked them out before. I saw them on a list. Somebody else had a list. I was like, hey, I got these are the albums I'm looking forward to this year. And they were on the list. I was like, maybe we should check that out. So I did. And I was pretty much blown away. Like, this is a unique band. Let me put that. They're avant-garde. They're described as, how do I word this? I can't remember exactly how it's phrased, but it was something like African percussion mixed with black metal or something along those lines. And they're a Swiss band. So there's a lot of interesting things going on there just in the description. And to describe it further as far as the music and how it sounds, the vocalist, when he does his clean vocal, reminds me of Eddie Vedder, Choirgiant. Just for some reason, it doesn't sound exactly like that, but that's the vibe I'm getting. His harsh reminds me of Dave Hunt from Null North Rock. If you take a Null North Rock and Pearl Jam and mash them together, what are you getting? You're getting something fucking weird.
Well, which harsh though? Because in a Null North Rock, there's like a million different harshes that he does.
There is, but that's like, it's not even just the vocals itself, but just even the music, the way the music just drives and pounds. The percussion on this album is sick. There's lots of wicked stuff going on. They do some weird. It's like almost like arena rock at certain points. They got like the like stomp rock, like doom, doom, psh, doom, doom, psh, kind of thing. There's gospel type of like church music type of stuff in here.
What doesn't this album have?
But it sounds, I don't listen to that shit, but it sounds fucking good on this. When I listened to this album today, it was unacceptable for me to listen to it at anything less than full blast volume. And I was floored. I was really actually floored.
I mean, this is another album where I only got to listen to a few tracks, but it was really unlike anything I've heard. It was just like the most interesting of all these four albums. I mean, you worded it really well. It's like, what the hell's going on? This, like, you have no idea what's coming next. And like I said, I didn't even listen to many tracks. I didn't get to the arena rock. I didn't get to the gospel. I didn't get to any of that. But from what I heard, this is really cool, unique, and interesting. And like I said, unlike the majority or anything I've really heard before.
Yeah, so just based merely on the fact that it is this unique and fresh sounding, we're going to listen to Zeal and Ardor for the entire week. It is the album we are choosing to review. If you guys haven't heard it, then give it a listen. Give all these albums a listen and leave your comments down below and let us know what you guys think of all four of these albums. We always like to hear what you guys say. But that's it from us for now. We will be back in a week to give you guys our full review of Zeal and Ardor. But that's it. So subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep those heads banging.